What's up, you guys? Ryan the Anvil here. Inside the Anvil shop today, I want to talk to you about a piece of machinery we use here in the shop every single day, multiple times a day. It's called a hand setter, also called a European hand setter. We use this machine to set snaps, grommets, eyelets. We use it to set our jiffy rivets in our bags. And we also use it to cut holes using a small brass anvil and hole cutter. Let's go over the anatomy of the hand setter itself. The base is made from cast ductile iron, and then it, of course, is coated in a green paint. The handle is steel and is spring-loaded so that when you engage the handle and lower the die, it will spring back to position effectively. It has a machined corkscrew so that it slowly and evenly lowers the top die onto the material. The brass bushing on the inside of the cylinder is the only wear point of the machine itself. Within a few years of heavy use, this brass bushing will wear to a point where it can loosen over time. This is not loose, but it can become very loose. I've only had to replace one bushing, and it was in this machine, which is why you see a different style of handle. The way you would remove the brass bushing is by getting a crescent wrench and removing this set nut, which is what is holding the bushing in place and allowing you to fully mechanize the machine. Moving down, you get to where the dies are installed, and they are, the top die is threaded and it screws into place, so all you do is hand tighten it. I like to use a 16 penny nail to keep next to each machine, and there's a hole in each side of the upper die, and I just shove my nail in and I give it a firm tighten. I don't over tighten it because you are dealing with metal threads and you don't want to mar or abuse the threads so that you can't use the expensive dies any longer. So once that is tightened down to a nice good hand tighten, you're good to go and function the machine. Speaking of dies, I've got the bottom set for line 24 snaps set up over here, and I'll show you how this machine will set the bottom portion of line 24 snaps. And I am just pressing in my posts, and I will take my stud and I will push it up into the die with my finger. It snaps into place, and then I lower the die onto the post that is in the leather itself. And at this point I have contact. I do need to give it a little bit of elbow grease so that when I push, this kind of takes some practice. There's a slight learning curve knowing how hard you're gonna wanna push in order to effectively mushroom out the rivet or the eyelet or the grommet or the snap or whatever it is that you are setting. And I have another one to set here, so I will simply push another rivet, or a stud of the line 24 snap into the die, lower the head. I am giving it pressure, and we are done setting snaps. And as you see, very nicely set, very straight, very centered snaps that can now be used. Believe it or not, the installation of this simple unit is very important. There are three holes for lag bolts that are needed to hold the machine down firmly to the work surface. You'll see these here, two in the middle and then one in the rear of the unit. What's important about installation is making sure that the bottom surface of the unit itself is touching the surface of your work surface, your work table. And the reason why is this. When I first got this machine, I broke it, and I'll tell you how. So I was working on a piece similar to this where You know, if you're setting rivets in leather and you don't want to scar the underside and you can't hammer or press the rivet as such and scarring the other side of the leather, you want to be able to get up into the leather product. And so what I did was I scooted my machine outward, leaving about 3 inches of the C-frame of the unit extended out of my work table. And what this did was, of course, put a lot of pressure right here at the edge of the table. And eventually, within a few settings of rivets, it broke the cast ductile iron. In review, the machine is extremely useful. We use it every single day here in the Anvil shop on Anvil wallets, Anvil belts, Anvil bags. It's an extremely strong unit made of cast ductile iron, but that doesn't mean it can't break. So installation is very important to reiterate. Make sure that the bottom surface of the unit is completely touching the top surface of the workbench and that your 3 lag bolts are tight. The unit cost about $200 across the board. You may find it a little bit more or a little bit less somewhere, and that's fine. It's important to know that you may have to replace the bushing on the inside of the cylinder once every 5, 6, 7 years, depending on how heavy you use it. Guys, thanks for watching the tool review today. If there's another tool you would like to see reviewed, please let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Ryan. If you'd like to see the premium leather wallets that we make here in the shop, please visit anvilcustoms.com. Have a great day.